Hi, my name is Katie. How are you today? Amazing. Do you have any injuries or anything that I should know about? Fantastic. We're gonna go ahead and get started on the mat. Emma, while I have you, the difference between a neutral spine and an imprint spine. Neutral spine is going to be regular, normal spine that people would have, unless you say imprint, which makes you tuck your tail and make no space underneath your spine, so that way your spine is fully imprinted into the mat, like a fossil. We're going to go ahead and start. You're going to lay flat on your back on the mat, Miss Gracie. I know, it's a very pretty man. Oh, very pretty lady. Okay, so extend your legs straight out onto the mat and your arms right by your side. Beautiful. Take one leg up over your hip. Beautiful. Now, slightly externally rotate your foot. As you circle your leg out and around, make sure that your other leg is extended straight, heel is flexed to keep your hips and pelvis stable, so that way we don't go anywhere. We're going to go up, out, and then we're going to stop right here, and then we're going to rotate our foot inward, and then you're going to rotate the other way as you go up, out, and around, up, out, and around, and we're going to stop right there after this one. And then we're going to put our foot down. Beautiful. Now you're going to bring both knees bent, heels and full foot onto the mat itself. Bring your butt as close to the to your heels as possible. You're going to make sure we're going to go ahead and tuck your tail as you articulate your spine all the way up. Make sure that those ribs stay knitted in like you've got a corset on, and then lower your hips all the way back down. Making sure that you press through those heels as you tuck your tail towards your face. Roll those hips all the way up into a bridge. This is our closed kinetic chain. And then roll yourself all the way back down. Beautiful. One last one. Tuck those hips. Tuck that tail. Roll yourself all the way up. Make sure those ribs are sit nice and knitted together. And then roll yourself all the way back down. Beautiful. Amazing. Now we're going to go into some hundreds. So we're going to keep our feet where they're at. You're going to take your hands above your shoulders. Long fingers reaching towards the sky. You're going to go ahead and lower your arms towards the mat as you curl your head and chest up. And you're going to start pumping from your shoulder blades for hundreds. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and lower your chest down onto the mat as you raise your arms back up over your shoulders. That's going to be our most beginner option for hundreds. If you want to progress it, go ahead and take your knees into tabletop, straight and thighs together. Beautiful. Go ahead and lower those hands towards the mat as you curl your head and chest up. Abs are sucked up and in. Now start pumping your arms for hundreds one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Our spine is imprinted into the mat. Our shoulders are up off of the mat, and our knees are over our hips. Last 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's counting is hard, but we're fine. Now, if we're going to take it in our most advanced move, it's going to be arms are up over our shoulders. We're going to take our knees from tabletop. We're going to extend them straight as our hands lower towards that mat, and we curl our head and chest up. And we're going to start pumping again from our shoulder blades. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. And go ahead and lower that chest, raise those arms, bend those knees, lower yourself all the way back down. We're going to swan. So we're going to flip. We're going to flip onto our stomach. Beautiful. Our legs are going to stretch out behind us, and we're going to lay flat on our stomach like a pancake. Our elbows are going to stay bent towards our ribs, and you're going to point your toes, engage your glutes, and squeeze your thighs, and tuck your hips into the mat. Press yourself up, press your chest up in one piece, extending into a swan. And then bend your elbows. As you bend your elbows, you're going to lift those thighs up off of the mat for some swan dive. Press yourself up, those thighs lower, and then your chest. I wouldn't go this fast, but go ahead. Yes. Making sure that your glutes are engaged, your ribs are sucking up and in, and you've got your hips tucked into that mat. Last one. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Go ahead and lower yourself flat like a pancake. Okay, now we're going to come up and we're going to go into some mermaid. So we're going to Z-sit either direction, doesn't matter whichever one is your favorite side. So we're going to go ahead and take one arm and just rest on the mat next to us. You're going to have the hand that's closest to the foot that's bent in on the mat. Now you're going to take your opposite hand, the outside hand, you're going to laterally side bend over, stretch that side, and then you're going to pull from your obliques as you bring yourself all the way back up. You're going to bend over, side bend, bending that arm, and then raise yourself all the way back up. And last one, you can rotate forward for an extra stretch if you want. This is very similar to what we would do on the reformer. And then you're going to rotate towards center and bring yourself all the way back up and then take a counter stretch. Beautiful, wonderful, amazing. And now we're going to do seated spine twist. So Gracie's going to sit flat on her butt and she's going to take her arms out towards the side. Beautiful. We're going to rotate towards the right and you're going to fold over your thigh, make pinky meet pinky, and you can pulse forward and then slowly roll yourself back up to straight standing and then rotate towards the other direction, fold yourself over, pulse, and then slowly restack your spine over your hips, and then you're good. Beautiful. Last one, straight leg sweeps. So go ahead and lay flat on your side. Both legs are to be extended straight out. You want your butt closer to the to the back of the mat, about a fist distance apart. So my foot is actually a great distance. She's great distance. So your feet are going to be slightly forward. I'm going to move this box so then that way it's not in her way. You're going to take your top leg into hip height, point your toe, flex your sweep your foot forward, and then flex your foot, bring it back towards just slightly behind you. You're going to make sure that your hips stay stacked. You don't want to rotate in your hips at all. Her hand being on the top of her hip will keep her hip in place and keep her hips stacked. Make sure that your abs are sucking up and in. Lift from your lower oblique slightly as well. We want to make sure that there may be enough space for like a ladybug to crawl underneath. Okay, on this next one, you're going to go ahead and keep your leg right about here. Slightly externally rotate your foot just slightly, and then you're going to raise it up to hip height and then flex it as it comes down to meet the other foot. Yes, flex it as it comes down, point it as it comes up, lower and lifts for 2. Last one. And then you're done. I don't know if you can hear me. I hope you can, Emma. We're going to start on footwork. Footwork is typically done on either 2 reds and a blue or 2 reds and a green. You can also do 2 reds and a green and add a blue if you want it extra heavy. But I'm just going to start Gracie on 2 reds and a green because she's pretty damn strong. You're going to go ahead and lay down flat. We're going to make sure your headrest can be up or down for footwork. It doesn't matter. We're going to start with our heels, hips width on the foot bar. Press your arms into the carriage. When you're ready, take a deep breath in. Exhale as you extend yourself straight. Bend your knees. Pull yourself back into the dog. You're just going to keep bending and pressing. Press through those heels. Abs are tucking up and in like you've got a corset from your toe or from your pelvis to your ribs, right below your bra line. Beautiful. Press out and in for 2 more. Beautiful. Last one, and then bring yourself all the way into the dock. Now, if we're going to advance it, I'm going to give Gracie some 3-pound weights here. Go ahead and take these. Beautiful. And we're going to start with elbows wide for a chest press. You're going to keep those heels where they are. And when you press your legs straight, your arms are going to go straight above your head. You can tap your weights above you and then bend your knees. Arms come back down to 90. Bending and pressing, extending those arms and legs straight at the same time, and then bringing yourself in, bending those arms at the same time. Breathing as you extend out. Inhale as you pull the carriage in or reverse, whichever is most comfortable for you. Make sure that your heels don't rotate in. You want to make sure that they stay aligned. Last one. Beautiful. Pull yourself all the way in and stop there. Now, we're going to keep those weights. You're going to keep that heel on the foot bar, but you're going to take one leg and you're going to pull it into tabletop. Point that toe. Now, press through that opposite heel straight, arms straight. When you bring yourself back into the dock, you're going to extend that leg over the foot bar, bend those elbows. Extend straight, arms straight, knee bends. Bend knee, bend arms, legs straight. Beautiful. Make sure that those abs are up and in. Squeeze through those glutes. Press through that heel. 2 more. Last one. And then pull yourself all the way in. Once you're ready, and it's towards to the ground. All good there. Now I'm going to drop her headrest because without that, we're going to put her neck at risk and we don't want that. We're going to keep the springs where they're at. It is a little heavy for bridging, but it's just more supportive. We are going to drop it actually down to 2 reds and a blue just to make one part of this a little bit nicer for her. So we're going to keep our heels on the foot bar itself. We're going to make sure that you're going to tuck your tail towards your face, keep your spine in that position, and then hinge your hips all the way up. Keep your spine in that shape, and then lower your hips down. Tap the mat, bring yourself all the way back up. Beautiful. That spine is going to stay in that position, that flat back position. You're pressing through those hands, pressing through those heels for 2. And then last one, keep those hips up. And then you're going to pull one knee over your hip and set it down onto the foot bar. Take the other knee over your hip, put it on the foot bar. And you're going to switch for marches, making sure that your pelvis stays even, your abs are up and in, we're not flaring those ribs, your abs are down, belly button to spine, beautiful. And then last one, keep this next leg up. Press yourself straight, and then bring yourself back into the dock. We're going to bend and press that straight leg, single leg, keeping this opposite knee in tabletop for 2. Make sure those hips stay even. Last 1. And then lower that heel down onto the foot bar. Take that other knee up into tabletop and press yourself out to straight leg and pull yourself back into the dock. Breathing. Abs are up and in. Don't flare those ribs. Last one. And then pull yourself into the dock, lower that heel down onto the foot bar, and then roll your hips all the way down. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay.
This is just a disclaimer, Emma. Had my client not been as strong as Gracie, I would have had them come down in between each variation of bridging and hug their knees into their chest to give their lower back just a little bit of a break. But since she is so strong, I had her do the full variation all the way through. I just wanted to make sure I threw that in.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to adjust these springs. We're going to go to 2 reds and a blue. That's pretty standard for supine arms. You can also do 1 red and a blue. If I had a camera on my forehead, you would have been able to see that anyway. So it's a red and a blue. That's pretty standard for supine arms. If you're crazy, not crazy, but if you want it heavier, you can do 2 reds. If you want it lighter, you could even do a green. You're just going to feel it in your abs more. But take those short straps from the loops behind you. Beautiful, beautiful. Those short straps are in your hands. We're going to catch tension in those straps, and then we're going to pull our knees into tabletop. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're just going to go ahead and lower those arms down towards the carriage and then raise them back up, stopping at shoulder height. Beautiful. Lowering those arms down. Abs are up and in. Our knees are going to stay over our hips, and we want to make sure that we have got a perfect tabletop. I could rest a cup of coffee on her shins and it won't spill. I'm not going to do that. That would be very reckless of me. I know food safety things. And then if you want to advance it on her next one, she's going to curl her head and chest up as she even extends her legs straight if she wants. This is the most advanced variation of the move. Keeping her knees in tabletop is going to be considered intermediate, but raising her head and chest up off of the carriage is that extra progression. And now she's going to extend those legs out straight to 45. And then she's going to lower herself all the way back down. Beautiful. Fantastic. We're going to keep overachiever. We're going to keep the same springs for feet and straps. Typically, you can do 2 reds, you can do a red and a blue, you could do a green and a blue, whatever is most comfortable. We're going to keep your straps where they're at.
The reason that you would do 2 reds would be to feel it more in the legs. And if you were to do a red and a blue spring, you would feel it more in the abs. I think I said strap, but I meant spring.
They're at, but you're going to press yourself straight, and then you're going to pull one knee into your chest and put your long loop onto the arch of your foot. Then press towards the foot bar. Take the other loop and over the arch of your foot. She's an overachiever. Anyway, beautiful. Heels together, toes apart. Bend your knees into your chest for a frog, and then press out. Your knees are going to go out wide as you bend your knees in and press out. You're going to stop over your hips. We don't want to pull all the way into her chest. That would be too far. We're going to stop right about here over our hips. Yep, bend in and then press back out. You're still getting work through the inner thighs because her heels are pressed together and your abs are up and in and you're squeezing your glutes. Beautiful. On this next one, you're going to raise your legs up to hip height and your feet are going to stay externally rotated. You're going to circle out, press through towards the foot bar, connect those heels. Don't go too far down. We're stop right about here and then bring them back up to hip height. Circle down, out and around, press towards that foot bar, stopping right about there. Beautiful. Bring your legs back up to hip height, circle down, out and around, and bring your legs back up to hip height. And then we're going to reverse. So lower down towards the foot bar, circle out, up and around, connect your heels. Our heels are going to stay together the entire time as we meet them at the top and then lower them towards the foot bar. That's where that inner thigh work comes from. Beautiful. Press through those hands. Make sure that you've got some work going in your triceps as well. Last one. Circle out, up and around. Beautiful. Now you're going to bend your knees into your chest. Take one strap off of your foot. Put your foot on the foot bar and then take your other foot out and then go ahead and bring yourself back in. Beautiful. And now we're going to get up off of the reformer. Amazing. And then we're going to go into some bicep curls. So I am going to actually drop her springs down. We're going to keep her at a red just because I know she's we'll do a red because she's strong. You could also do a blue. It's a little bit nicer, but you're going to sit on the carriage facing on your butt, facing the mirror. We're going to start like that first. Scoot up as close to the shoulder box as possible. You're going to grab the short loops in front of you. We're staying in crisscross applesauce because we're going to do some bicep curls. So we're going to extend our arms out towards the mirror. You're going to bend, curl your arms, hands towards your face, and then slowly extend your hands forward towards the mirror. You don't want to go too fast because then you'll catch some give in that strap way too soon. You want to make sure that tension stays strong. Your shoulders are over your hips. Scoot back if you need to where it's most comfortable for you. If you need to extend your legs straight through the headrest, you can also do that as well, whichever is most comfortable. There's a couple different variations. Beautiful. Bending towards, curling those hands towards our forehead as we extend slow, straight, making sure that our shoulders stay over our hips. We're squeezing our glutes, squeezing our thighs. Beautiful. Last one. And then extend all the way forward towards the mirror. You can do a forward fold over your thighs if need be. We're going to do a different variation of this. We're going to go ahead and hang up those loops. Yep, hang up the loops, and I'm going to have you go onto your knees on the carriage. Your thighs are going to be pressed up all the way to the shoulder blocks. That's for safety. Go ahead and bend down and grab those loops once more, the short loops. We're going to go ahead and rotate our hands so that they face the ceiling and up to shoulder height. You're going to curl your hands, just like before, towards your forehead and slowly extend your arms straight so then that way we don't go falling forward. We're going to go slow towards our forehead and slow back towards the mirror. Make sure that your hips are tucked forward. Your shoulders are rolling down your back. You're squeezing your abs up and in. You've got your belly button towards your spine. Your hips and glutes are squeezed. Squeeze those booties. Last two. Last one. Slowly extend your arm towards that mirror and then re-hang up those loops. Beautiful. That was super cute. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to have you flip around. We're going to face the foot bar. Stay seated. You're going to grab the straps from behind you. Short or long, whichever is most comfortable for you. Bend your elbows towards your ribs. You're going to serve out. Make sure your shoulders are rolling down your back and then bend your elbows, stopping at your ribs. We don't want to swing the arms, but we're just going to be extending our arms straight towards that foot bar. Here's my food. And then bending your elbows, stopping right at your ribs. If we bring them back too much, we're going to start swinging our arms. We want to make sure that we're moving muscularly. Beautiful. So then after we stop here, our elbows are going to be bent back towards our side. We're going to extend straight with our right arm and look over the opposite shoulder. And then you're going to bend that arm back towards your ribs and then extend with the left arm, look over that opposite shoulder. And then bend that arm back towards the ribs. We're not going to go too fast. We want to make sure that we keep the tension in the strap. We're going to be bending and extending that arm straight, serve towards the people, and then bring it back like you're the king. Beautiful. Last one. And then you're done. Okay, cool. Hang that back up. We're going to get up off of the carriage. I'm going to grab the short box. because we've got some hinge twists to do. Do you need to be geared out?
No.
Okay, all of the springs are going on the carriage for safety purposes, and I'm going to do that before she even gets on because that's what you're supposed to do. So all the springs are on. You're going to go ahead and sit on your box. I'm going to grab your safety strap, and your feet are going to go underneath the safety strap. Make sure that you've got tension in that strap. You should scoot back far enough so that way your feet aren't resting on the gray platform. You're going to go ahead, and we're going to place your arms across your chest in a little X, and then you're going to hinge yourself back to your farthest point. Squeeze through your glutes. Squeeze through your abs as you pull yourself back up, restack your spine. We're keeping our spine in that hinge position. It's staying in that flat back as we hinge ourselves back and then hinge ourselves back up. We're squeezing through our glutes, squeezing through our quads, our hamstrings, the tops of our thighs. Beautiful. Squeeze with those lower abs as well as you pull yourself all the way back in. Beautiful. Last one, lower, and then hinge yourself all the way back up, restack your spine. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go ahead. You've got your foot flexed up in the safety strap. We're going to start with our hands behind your head. You're going to twist first, and then you're going to diagonally hinge yourself back towards the opposite side of the reformer, and then hinge yourself back up using those obliques. And then rotate center, rotate twist, hinge yourself back towards that diagonal, and then diagonally restack yourself, and then rotate center again. Making sure that you're squeezing through those glutes, you're pulling with that oblique. You're not overextending your spine. We're not dropping your head back. We're making sure that our back is staying in one position as we rotate and then hinge ourselves back up. Use those glutes. Beautiful. And we're going to do the other side one last time. And beautiful. Amazing. Cool. And take 1 foot out of the safety strap, and you're going to pull it up into a pigeon pose for your side sit-ups. So you can either be like this, or you can have your leg extended over the side, whichever is most comfortable. You can also hook your foot underneath your thigh if need be. Your hand is going to start on the headrest itself. Take your opposite hand behind your head. You've got your outside foot flexed up in that safety strap. You're going to bend your elbow that's on the headrest and side bend over. And then extend that arm straight as you bring yourself back up. Pull with those obliques. Go ahead and bend your arm as you extend over, and then straighten that arm as you pull yourself back up. If you want to advance it, take that hand behind your head, and you're going to side bend over towards the side, and then restack using those obliques. Pull yourself up. Beautiful. Making sure that you're squeezing through that glute. You're going to feel some oblique work here. You'll feel it in, make sure your shoulders are rolling down your back. You've got your abs up and in. Beautiful. Last one. And then restack whenever you're ready. And then go ahead and you can take a counter stretch if you want to go ahead and stretch yourself over. You can rotate yourself towards the rails and rotate your body. You can also take your hand to the opposite side of the rails. So if you want to take, yep, there you go. And then go ahead and restack your spine, come center, and take your foot out, and you're all good. Please do the other side. And fantastic. Okay. Now we're going to do pull straps. So go ahead and get off of your Disneyland ride. Disembark your Disneyland ride. We're going to switch the box to long box. And we're going to lay prone. Are you fine with it staying on a red? Okay. So typically for people with shoulder issues or like a shoulder discomfort, I would do either a blue or even a yellow, depending on how they're most comfortable. Grace is really strong, so we're gonna keep her on a red. I'm gonna have you lay flat on your stomach facing the mirror. Amazing. We're going to go ahead and grab your short straps in front of you and grab up to the ropes just above the hardware. Go ahead and catch some tension in your straps. Your legs are going to be extended out straight behind you. Tuck your tail in, tuck your hips into the box itself. Your heels can either be together or apart depending on what feels better for your back. We're going to go ahead and straight arm sweep your hands to your hips. And then straight arm sweep your arms back down, stopping right by the shoulder blocks. We don't want to go too far forward. We want to make sure that we keep the tension. And if you want to advance it, when you pull your hands up towards your hips, you can have a slight extension in your thoracic spine. And then lower your chest as you lower your arms back down. Beautiful. So this is going to strengthen your entire posterior chain. Make sure that you squeeze those glutes, press those hips into the box itself. Beautiful, amazing. And lower yourself all the way back down. Amazing. Glorious. Okay, go ahead and disembark your Disneyland ride once more. We're gonna do some forearms on the short box for some planking. So I'm gonna move this into a short box. I'm gonna move you to a blue. Blue is going to be less supportive, harder, challenging for the abs. Red is going to be more supportive, a lot more assistance when it comes to doing planking as well. We're going to go ahead and start with your knees on the box face or on the carriage facing the box. Feet can either be on the gray platform or on the foot bar once we get up there. So go ahead, start on your forearms, tuck your tail, scoop your abs and your spine like you're an angry cat. Lift your knees up off of the carriage. Press yourself out straight to a plank. If you want to go ahead and advance it, you can press up to your hands and to your forearms, or to your feet and to your hands, or you can stay at your feet and on the gray platform and then on your forearms. So we're going to stay right here and we're just going to go ahead and bend in for a scooter and then press back out. Beautiful. It does say forearms on short box, but I feel like that, you know, we're going to bend in and press out. Make sure that we're sucking up with our abs. We don't want to drop our hips too far. We don't want to hike our hips up too much. Shoulders are over our wrists. Bend and press. Last one. Bend in. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take yourself down to the carriage. You can step your feet onto the platform, or you can even like bend the carriage in and then put your knee down first, whichever is most comfortable for you. Go ahead and disembark your Disneyland ride. We're gonna do some jump board real quick. This is the last part. Typically, if you didn't have a wedge pillow for your potential pregnant clients, you can use the jump board as a wedge pillow. I will demonstrate how to do so after this, but first we're gonna get this set up here while Gracie does her other side of everything. I hope this video has been entertaining for you, Emma. It's nothing short of what it was like to train me, I'm sure. Okay, cool. So typically you can do jumping. I'm gonna have you on a red and a blue. I feel like that's pretty standard. If they're really strong in their legs, they're gonna get tired really fast on two reds, but I mean, to each their own. Go ahead and lay down. You can start with your headrest up, and you're gonna start feet parallel flat on the jump board itself. We're gonna go ahead, arms by your side. You're gonna start just by straightening your legs and then bending them back in. We're just gonna start just getting comfortable with the jump board. It's a different surface area. It's gonna be a lot closer to standing on the ground if you were walking. It's a much different surface area than the foot bar itself. And whenever you're ready on your next jump, you can go ahead and press yourself out and jump up off of that foot bar. Point your toes, landing toe, ball, heel. And as you jump off, heel, ball, toe. The reverse of that is a little hard, but toe, ball, heel is how we're going to land. Squeeze your abs as you land in. Make sure that your hands are pressing into that foot bar or into the carriage, not foot bar. That'd be hard. Our hands are pressing into the carriage. We're engaging those triceps. We've got our abs up and in. You're sucking in your belly button to spine. Squeeze those glutes. Two more. Last one. And then bring yourself all the way in. Now, go ahead and take your feet wide, slightly turned out to the corners of the jump board itself. And then you're just going to bend and press for just a couple here. Bend and press for 2. Bend and press for 3. And last one. Then you're going to go ahead and start jumping whenever you're ready. You're going to jump and you're going to land the same way. Toe, ball, heel. Make sure that you suck your abs up and in as you land. That's how you want to land soft. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze those thighs, squeeze those hamstrings. Abs are up and in, spine, or belly button to spine. Beautiful for 2. Last one. And then bend yourself all the way in. And, okay, Emma, I'm going to show you how to do the jump board as a wedge pillow. Okay, so we've got this here on top of the jump board part, right? Okay. And then this guy, it's got the two top one up over the head, up over the shoulder blocks. Ta-da! Okay. So typically the springs start at 11. I have already moved them to shoulder height because that's where she's supposed to be. And I've also already moved the lower purple springs to where they're supposed to be for the later part of this. Okay, cool. So we're going to start with roll down. So go ahead and extend your legs straight. Put your feet underneath that bar at the bottom. There's going to be a slight bend in your knees because when you roll flat, your legs will go straight. So grab the roll down bar. We're going to hold on the outside of the hardware. Catch tension, so slight press. Roll your shoulders down your back, and you're going to tuck your tail as you roll yourself all the way down flat to the mat. Your feet, your legs will go straight as you roll yourself all the way down. Head goes down too. And now slowly tuck your head, chin to chest, and then roll yourself all the way up, articulating your spine, and restack your spine, shoulders over hips. Beautiful. Now, slight press down in the bar. Tuck your tail, and then roll yourself, articulate your spine in that C curve all the way down as you roll lower all the way down to the mat. Abs will tuck up and in as you tuck your head, chin to chest, roll yourself all the way back up. Restack your spine, shoulders over hips. Beautiful. One more. Go ahead and roll through, lowering all the way down. Beautiful. Roll yourself all the way up. Make sure that those shoulders roll down your back as you stack yourself all the way up. Amazing. Okay, cool. Now, go ahead and slight press down in that bar. We're going to side bend towards the right, and then you're going to roll through C curve as you roll yourself all the way down, touching that shoulder, that right shoulder down first, then roll flat onto your left. So now we're laying flat through center. Tuck your chin to chest as you roll yourself all the way back up. Straight arms, shoulders over hips. Beautiful. Now, slight depression in that bar. We're going to rotate towards the other side, and then you're going to roll down onto that left shoulder, and then rotate down onto the right shoulder, and then tuck your chin to chest. Roll yourself all the way back up as you restack your spine. And we'll go one more on each side. Slight depression in the bar, side bend to the right. Roll yourself all the way down as your shoulder hits the mat, other shoulder hits the mat, then roll yourself all the way back up. And we'll do one more to the other side. Press down, side bend, roll all the way flat, C curve down, lay flat on both shoulders, chin to chest as you roll yourself all the way back up. Beautiful, amazing. Okay, now go ahead and we're gonna release the bar, we're gonna stand up. And now we're going to do some chest expansion. So take the bar, make sure that we're far enough away to where there's some tension in the spring right now, but we'll get more tension in the spring in just a second. So roll your shoulders down your back. Feet are going to be hips width apart. Tuck your tail and hips forward. Take your hands on either side of the hardware and then press that bar towards your thigh, opening your chest, and then release as you bring your arms forward. Make sure that your hips are tucked forward. You're long in your spine. You're long in your neck. Slight bend in the knees. Feet are hips width apart. Shoulders are down your back. You're opening that chest as you press that bar towards your thighs and then bringing it forward. Okay, now we're going to go down towards arms. Okay, cool. So now we're going to do some salute. So you're going to grab flipped face towards me. Take the handles into your hands. Step forward just a little bit. Tuck your hips forward. Bend your arms in front, bend your hands in front of your head and hands in front of your forehead. Slight lean forward in your body. You're going to press forward. First salute, tricep press, and then bend back towards your head. If you need to have more tension in your springs, and you can step forward to make it heavier. If you want less tension, you can step backwards to make it lighter. But we're pressing from our triceps, pressing forward, making sure that our spine is in one piece, hips are tucked forward. But we've got even weight on our feet for 2. And then your last one, press forward and step back as your arms sweep around you. Beautiful. We're going to drop down to the knees. We're going to do some thigh stretch. I'm going to rotate over here. Now, we're going to have a slight depression in the bar itself. You're going to tuck your hips forward, roll your shoulders down your back. Extend from your knees as you hinge yourself back. Pause here. Now, have a slight thoracic extension. Drop your head back ever so slightly. And then curl yourself forward, realign your spine, and then pull from your thighs as you bring yourself back up. We're going to go ahead and do it again. Slight press back in the bar, extend from your knees, slight thoracic extension in the chest, and then curl forward as you pull from your thighs to bring yourself back up. Beautiful. One handle into your hands. You're going to rotate towards that wall. Beautiful. We're going to step out just a little bit. So we've just got our feet are just a little bit farther apart. Take that hand that has the handle out, slight bend. We're going to hug a tree in front of us, keep that round shape in front of our chest, and then open through our chest. We're not moving from our elbows, we're moving from the backs of our shoulders and from our chest. We're not opening and closing our elbows. You're moving open with those arms and that chest and those back muscles, and then closing with those same muscles in front. And then on this next one, keep your hands in front of you. Interlace your fingers, bend your elbows into your chest, and then press out for a Pavlov press. Bend your elbows in and press out. It can be a wide bend in the elbows, or it can be a narrow bend in the elbows back or down towards your ribs. Whichever is most comfortable for 2. Make sure your hips are tucked forward for last 1. Press forward and then step yourself closer to the springboard. So then that way we're not doing too many, or it's not springing back. Okay, now we're going to lay down and we're going to go into lower and lifts with the purple springs. So lay flat. You want to make sure that your arms are straight above your head when you grab that bar above you. So make sure you're far enough distance away. And then you're going to take one of those purple springs, bend one knee into your chest and loop it around that foot. And then take the other your other knee into your chest and loop that foot into that loop. Beautiful. So hands can either stay by your side if you want advancement, or you can hang onto that bar, whichever is most comfortable for you. Go ahead and extend your legs straight up towards the sky. Feet in Pilates V. You're going to go ahead and lower your legs down towards the mat. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze those inner thighs as you bring your legs all the way back up to hip height. We're going to stop right about here. A little bit more right here. And then we're going to lower down towards the mat. Beautiful. Right about there. Make sure that your inner thighs are squeezing, your heels are squeezing, your toes are slightly turned out. Beautiful, beautiful. Lowering and lifting. And we're going to lower this last one. And you're going to take your right leg up towards hip height. And then you're going to switch. And switch. Make sure that those inner thighs are hugging together. You're pressing through those heels, using those hamstrings, using those glutes, breathing. Abs are up and in for 2. Last one. And bend both knees into your chest and take those straps off. And that's springboard.
Prior to you seeing the Cadillac series, I just wanted to make sure that I explained the difference between the Cadillac and the springboard. The springboard is basically the tower end of the Cadillac. There is no trapeze bar, no fuzzy straps on the springboard. There's no overhead or side rails, no push through bar either. It's pretty much just arm and leg springs of the Cadillac. But the springboard itself also has the ballet bar. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything. Okay, cool. Now enjoy the rest of this video.
A short spine on the Cadillac, so it's going to go springs from below. So we're going to hook the back blue springs on, and then we're going to take the safety strap and loop it up underneath here so that we're nice and safe. And then my body, please come in and lay down onto the Cadillac, head towards the end. Beautiful. Take the bar into your hands. And then I'm going to help you lift up. Take your feet onto the bar, Pilates V, toes on, heels together. Okay, arms by your side. You're going to press those legs up straight towards the sky. Now tuck your tail, roll your hips up off of the carriage itself, up towards the sky, up, 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 up. Squeeze those abs in. Now bend your knees towards your chest. And then straighten those legs again. And then roll those hips all the way down. And then bend those knees into your chest one more time. Straighten your legs up towards the sky, and then tuck your tail, roll your hips all the way up, 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 up. And then bend those knees one more time into your chest, extend straight, and then roll those hips all the way back down, making sure that your abs are up and in. We're gonna go bend those knees into your chest again. One last time, legs straight, tuck those hips, move in one piece all the way up, and then bend those knees one more time into that chest, extend straight, and then roll those hips all the way down. Bend those knees and put those hands up onto the bar, and then go ahead and get up. Amazing, beautiful. Now we're gonna do, we'll do straight legs, the bar from above. Amazing. Gonna move her here, move this. Okay, go ahead and come back here. We're gonna start with a straight leg teaser. So we're gonna lay flat. We're gonna go ahead and take the bar. We're gonna do legs flat out on to the carriage. Beautiful. Okay, so arms are on the bar. We're going to chin to chest, roll yourself all the way up, legs straight, pull yourself up into a teaser, straight legs. Push through that chest, push through those arms. And then roll yourself all the way back down, flat like a pancake onto the ground, onto the mat. Okay, again, we're going to tuck your head, chin to chest, arms and legs press up all the way straight into a teaser, point those toes, Pilates V, and then lower yourself all the way back down, making sure that you're breathing. Abs are tucked up and in. We're gonna do one more time. Inhale, exhale, arms and legs straight up towards the sky. Press, 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 press. And then lower yourself all the way back down, legs straight, legs flat. Beautiful. I'll take the bar. Beautiful. It didn't go anywhere, didn't go down. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna do swan. So quadruped onto the Cadillac. I'm going to take that bar down. We're gonna put one hand on the bar itself, press through, and then take your other hand to the bar as well. Legs are straight behind you. Tuck that tail and tuck your hips into that mat, point your toes. You're going to bend your arms towards your head, and then you're going to move your chest up in one piece up off of the mat, and then press your arms up over your head for swan. And then bend your arms towards your head, lower your chest as you press your arms with the push through bar all the way through towards the mirror. Beautiful. Bend those elbows towards your head, and then move that chest up in one piece. Make sure you tuck that tail. We're not hyperextending that back. Shoulders are down your back. Bend those arms. And then lower your chest in one piece as you press yourself back through that bar with that spring. Amazing. Go ahead and bend your arms one more time towards your head. Move your chest up in one piece and press through up towards the sky. Don't hyperextend that back. Squeeze those glutes. Bend your arms towards your head and then press yourself all the way back down and through. Beautiful. I'll take that bar. Go ahead and get yourself up and off. And child's pose if you need it. Amazing. Straps are about forearms distance. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So now go ahead and lay down. Lay flat. Legs can go through my legs right now, or knees bent. It was this way, right? Okay. I'm gonna twist these in. 1, 2, 3. Knees are gonna stay on my thighs. I'm gonna twist this in. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now bridge up, take your right foot and hook it into the loop. There you go. Beautiful. Oh, did I do it the wrong way? There you go, there you go. Okay, cool. Now bridge up, foot into this one, all the way, all the way, all the way. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, cool. And then just hang. Deep breath. Rock those hips side to side. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then I'm going to go ahead and take one foot out, put it on my thigh, take the other foot out, rest it on my thigh, and then roll yourself all the way down. Beautiful. Okay, now you can get off of the carriage while I set up the trapeze bar. We've got our grippies here for hand grippiness, and then I'm going to move the trapeze bar about here. Retighten this. And then the distance between yourself and the trapeze bar should be about, as long as your Achilles is resting comfortably on the trapeze bar, you are the safe distance away. So I'm going to go ahead and grab onto the grippies, underhand on top of the bar itself. Okay, then take one leg and place it up onto the trapeze bar, bring it out to the outside of here, and then externally rotate your foot so that way we're hooked onto here. As long as we're comfortable enough distance, you can go ahead and straighten your arms, bend your standing leg for a half hang, and then take your other leg and place it up in that trapeze bar, hook it around that pad. Now we're in a teaser hang. Now, you're going to tuck your tail and bring those hips all the way up, arms straight, look towards the sky. And now we're going to row ourselves up for 3, for 2, for 1, and then we're going to sit back into our teaser hang, take one leg out of the trapeze bar, stand up straight, and then take the other leg out, and we're done. The chair, I'm going to put her onto a 2 and a 2. We're going to start with some step-ups. The cactus should have the springs on either side of the cactus arms. People are weird when they put it on the same. Okay, cool. So you're going to start facing the chair. Are you close enough to the springboard itself? I'm going to move this ball so that way you have nothing obstructing your way when you're standing up there. Okay, cool. So you're going to start by taking your right foot, press the pedal down. And then take your hands onto the chair at the kitty cat ears, and then take your left foot and put it up into the top left corner of the chair, slightly turned out. Grab onto the ballet bar for support if need be. Press through that heel on top of the chair and bring yourself all the way up. We're going to step up and then bring yourself down, pedal foot at a hover, and then stand yourself up straight through that heel, and then bring yourself back down towards the hover. Make sure that you tuck your abs up and in. Your hands can go above your head for an advancement. Make sure that those ribs are knitted together as well, like you've got a corset on. Slight tuck in the tail, press through that heel, and bring yourself all the way down. Hands to the chair. Step that foot back, and then step your right foot off of the pedal or onto the pedal if you want to do the other side, and then you're going to slowly bring the pedal all the way back up. You can do we're going to do pikes because I already have the spring set up, and that actually would bode well for the flow of class. Thinking. Okay, cool. So we're going to go into twisted pike. I'm actually going to move this just a little bit. So take your right foot, press the pedal down, hands on the chair, and then put your left foot up onto the chair itself. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So now take your left hand and bring it to the right side of the chair so that you're framing the short side of the chair itself. Now you're going to rotate, pivot those feet to face that direction as well. And now weight into the heels of your hands. You're going to pike yourself up, bring those hips up, pull through those abs as you bring yourself all the way up, and then lower yourself down towards a hover. Beautiful. Pike your hips all the way up, lower down towards a hover. Make sure that those abs are sucking up and in. Shoulders are over your wrists for 2. Last 1. Lower yourself all the way down to the pedal is flat. Come center, and then step all the way off. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go into prone push-up because now it makes more sense to switch the springs. So I'm just going to move this. Beautiful. I'm going to switch the springs to a 3 for some prone push-ups. So you're going to stand at the cactus side of the chair itself. Go ahead and lower yourself onto the top of the chair. Make sure that your hips are on the chair. You don't want to pull your chest off too far. Your chest wants to be just right over the pedal. So lower yourself down, and then press the pedal down with your hands. Beautiful. Tuck those hips into the chair itself. Extend those legs straight out behind you. Heels can be together or apart depending on if it feels better for your back. You're going to bend your elbows, bringing the pedal up, and then pressing the pedal down towards the hover. Making sure that your back is staying long, your neck is staying long. You're looking slightly forward with your head. Tuck those abs up and in. Tuck those hips into the chair for 2. Last 1. And then pull the pedal all the way up. And you're going to press yourself back to your feet. There's really no graceful way to get off here. And then we're going to do a child's stretch, a forward fold, if you will. Staying on that side of the chair, you're going to come up to where your feet go underneath the chair itself, right underneath the cactus itself. Circle your arms above your head, and then you're going to dive forward, chin to chest, as you take your hands to the pedal, and then press yourself all the way down to a hover, and then pull from those abs, suck those abs up and in as you roll yourself all the way up. Not all the way up, but you're stopping right about here. And then you press yourself all the way back down. And then pull yourself up to almost to the top, and then press yourself all the way back down. This is your last one, because on this next one, you're going to come all the way up, suck up through those abs as you pull your arms above your head, and slight bend behind you. Wonderful. Okay, cool. Now, since we're just going to stay right here, go back over here, we're going to do some swan. So we're going to take our hips back onto that chair. Hands to the pedal, lay yourself flat. Tuck those hips up and in, tuck your abs up and in. Legs are straight behind you, engage those glutes. Now you're gonna move your chest up in one piece as your arms stay straight, and you slightly thoracically extend your spine, and then lower yourself all the way back down. Beautiful. You're gonna pull yourself up back in one piece. Make sure those hips are staying nice and pressed into that chair, and then lower yourself down towards a hover, keeping those arms nice and straight. You're gonna press yourself up, bring yourself up with those abs, stretch the lower back, stretch the upper back, and then lower yourself all the way back down. Beautiful. Now bend your arms, come up off of the carriage as gracefully as possible, or up off the chair as gracefully as possible. Not Gracie, gracefully. Now we're going to do some hamstrings. So I've moved the chair. You're going to lay flat, farther away from the pedal itself, just so that there's enough space for you to press the pedal itself. We're doing hamstring curls. Okay, so we have our heels on the pedal itself. We're going to press through our heels, bringing the pedal down, and then bring the pedal back up. Before I can come to a hover and press yourself all the way up. Beautiful, beautiful. Pressing down, and then bring yourself all the way up. If you want to advance it, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and come up. Single leg would be an advancement. So we're going to start with breathing. So I'm going to have you sit on top of the apex of the spine corrector, facing away from the little seat. Shoulders over hips. You're going to make sure that you're squeezing your glutes. Inhale, exhale as you roll your spine down. Trace those hands down your shins, chest onto your thigh. And then exhale, inhale, pull yourself up, restack your spine, pull through those abs. And then we're going to go again. Inhale, exhale as you lower yourself all the way down onto those thighs. Inhale, exhale, pull yourself all the way back up in. Restack that spine. Beautiful. One last one. Roll yourself all the way down and forward. And then restack your spine. Squeeze those glutes, abs up and in as you roll yourself all the way back up to the top. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go into side sit-ups. So I'm going to have you come around to the seat of the spine corrector. Beautiful. Your leg can be extended out in front of you, or if that doesn't feel right for your body, it can also be bent in as well if that feels better, whichever you prefer. Hand on the outside hand behind your head. We're going to inhale, exhale as you side bend down the side of the spine corrector, and then exhale, inhale, pull yourself back up using those obliques. Inhale to prepare, exhale as you lower yourself, round over. And then inhale, exhale as you restack, pull with those obliques. Last one. Go ahead and side bend yourself all the way over. And then pull yourself up using those obliques. Beautiful. And now we're going to take that hand behind your head and extend it out towards the side. We're going to rotate through our torso, have that hand meet the hand that's on the spine corrector. And then make sure that we scoop those abs as you pull that hand back out towards the side. Rotating through that torso as you bring that hand to meet the hand on the spine corrector, and then rotating through that torso as you bring it back out. Beautiful. Amazing. Now we're going into inverted scissors. So go ahead and stand. I'm just going to move this a little bit. Beautiful. Amazing. So go ahead and sit on the mat to start, or on the base of the spine corrector, whichever is easiest to get into it. You're going to want to lay flat, pull your butt up onto the spine corrector, so then that way your shoulders and your thoracic spine are on the spine corrector. There, your shoulders are off the spine corrector, but your pelvis and the lower part of your spine are on it. Beautiful. Go ahead. Make sure that you tuck those abs up and in. Bring your knees into tabletop. Extend those legs up straight towards the sky. You're going to lower one leg down, and then we're going to switch. We're going to switch. So breathe. Make sure you hold on to those handles underneath the spine corrector. Pull those abs up and in. For 2. Last 1. Bend those knees. Beautiful. And go ahead and roll yourself off onto the side of the spine corrector. There's really no graceful way to get out of that. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go into swan with rotation. So go ahead and hips onto the apex of the spine corrector. We're going to go forearms on the mat itself. Bring your forearms, bring your elbows just a little bit more towards your ribs, just a tiny bit. And then you're going to make sure that you engage your legs. So squeeze those legs, squeeze those thighs, squeeze those glutes. You're going to press yourself up in one piece. Press that chest up in one piece. Have slight extension in your neck. And then you're going to go ahead and bend those elbows, lower yourself back down towards the mat. Make sure that those legs stay engaged as you press yourself up onto those hands into a swan. Beautiful. And then lower yourself all the way back down. And then we're going to do press up one more time. And then lower yourself all the way back down. Stay down in that position. Keep those legs engaged behind you. Take one hand behind your head. You're going to press up through that single hand, and we're going to rotate diagonally towards the other side of the spine corrector, and then rotate towards center. And then lower yourself all the way back down. And then you're going to switch hands. Press yourself up through that single hand. Let those feet touch the mat if need be. Rotate back towards center, and then lower yourself all the way back down. Beautiful, wonderful. And now we're going to go into some side lying leg kicks. So laying side onto the apex, take your forearm onto the mat itself. Beautiful. Your hand can be on your hip to make sure that your hips stay stacked, or it can be grabbing the front of the spine corrector. Go ahead and take your top leg. We're going to kick it forward, and then you're going to flex that foot as you bring it back towards your hip. Beautiful. So point your toe, kick forward, flex your toe, kick back. Make sure that you're lifting up through those side abs, so that way we've got a pretty big mouse house, but we want to make sure that we're lifting up through those obliques as we kick forward. And as we bring back, we're lifting up out of that shoulder. Last one, and bring it back. And then lower your legs all the way down, and then pull yourself all the way up. And that is spine corrector. Thank you for your time, Emma. Okay, cool. So we're going to start with ballet stretches. So you're going to start facing the ladder barrel. Your hands the barrel. Grab the ladder behind you. You're going to go ahead and take your right leg and swoop it up and around and place it up on top of the barrel itself. Roll your shoulders down your back, tuck your abs in, making sure your ribs don't flare. Take your arms above your head and fold over, reach towards your foot. Pull your abs up and in, and take a stretch. Take a deep breath in, exhale out, and then slowly restack your spine. Roll your shoulders down your back, and grab the ladder behind you, and then remove your leg from the barrel. You're going to go ahead and sit up on top of the barrel facing the ladder. We're going to hook our feet. We're going to have our feet sitting on the lowest rung. Go ahead and pivot yourself facing towards me. You can grab onto the ladder if need be for some extra support. Make sure you've got your support hand on the barrel itself. Take your farthest hand from the barrel behind your head. And if it works for your body, go ahead and take your, bless you. And if it works for your body, take your barrel hand up behind your head as well. And you're going to side bend towards the barrel. And then we're going to align ourselves back up diagonally, so then that way our head and shoulders are sitting straight. We're going to bend back over and then restack. We're going to sit diagonally. And then last one, bending over, and then restack up diagonally. Place that hand back on the barrel, and we're going to pivot ourselves out and then go ahead and jump down. Beautiful. Amazing. Next, we're going to go into grasshopper. So go ahead and come around towards the opposite side of the barrel. You can use the box if you need some extra height to get up onto the barrel for safety purposes. Go ahead and we're going to lay down on top of the barrel, keeping our hips on the barrel itself where our hands are on the ladder. Tuck your hips into the barrel. Extend those legs behind you. They can be together or they can be farther apart for your back. We're going to make sure that you tuck your abs in. Straighten your arms straight for a slight extension in the back. And then bend those arms, bend yourself back in towards that ladder. Bend your knees towards your feet towards the glutes. Extend them straight and keep that shape in your spine. Press yourself all the way up. Make sure we're not hyperextending in that back. Squeeze those glutes, tuck those hips into the barrel. Bend those arms. Bend the knees, heels towards the glutes. Extend straight and straighten those arms one more time. We're going to go for one last one. Bend those arms. Bend those knees, heels towards the glutes. Extend straight. And press yourself all the way up, press yourself back on towards that box. And then if you need to take a slight forward fold, do so. Amazing. Next, we're gonna go into flat back hinge. So we're gonna come back in between the ladder and the barrel. We're gonna sit on top of the barrel itself, and we're going to hook our feet onto the second rung of the ladder itself. Straight legs, and we're going to take our shoulders, we're going to roll them down our back, squeeze those glutes. We're going to hinge ourselves back, hands behind your head. Hinge yourself back to a point where you can. And then you're going to restack your spine, hinge yourself back all the way up, not rolling. Spine is moving in one piece. Squeeze those glutes as you lower yourself down to your farthest point. And then bring yourself back up, pulling from those abs. Make sure that your ribs are knitted in, leaning back. And then pull yourself all the way up. Squeeze through those glutes. Place those hands back onto the barrel. Beautiful. Okay, now you're gonna go into twisted. So hands back behind your head. We're going to rotate towards the right and diagonally hinge yourself back towards that back corner of the barrel, and then hinge yourself back up and then rotate center. And we're gonna rotate towards the other side, hinge yourself back diagonally, squeeze through those glutes, make sure those abs are pulled in nice and tight, and rotate towards center, rotate, hinge yourself back. Beautiful. And then last one, make sure we're even. Hinge yourself back and then restack your spine. Beautiful. Place your hands back on the barrel, drop your feet down a couple rungs, and then you can jump down. Amazing. And now we're gonna do hands on the rails, seated facing away. So we're going to step up onto the box, and then you can sit up on top of the barrel. We're going to reach back towards the ladder. Beautiful. Scoot yourself back just so we're nice and okay, awesome. So we're gonna keep our knees into our chest, make sure those abs are pulled up and in, and you're going to extend your legs out to 45. Pull one leg up towards the sky and drop one leg just a little bit lower. And now we're going to switch for scissor. Switch and switch, making sure that your abs are pulled up and in, breathing as you pull one leg up, lower the other leg down for 3, 2, 1, and pull both knees into tabletop. And now you're gonna extend your legs out towards 45 again, put your heels or feet in Pilates V. We're gonna pull our legs up towards the ceiling and then flex them as we lower them down for lower and lifts. So point as we raise them up and flex as we lower them down, making sure that those abs are tucked up and in. You're squeezing your glutes, squeezing those heels together, squeezing those inner thighs for 2. And last one, pull those knees into your chest, and you're gonna go ahead and rock yourself all the way up. And beautiful. Okay, thanks. This has been super fun. Miss you.